All right, Browns fans, almost 24 hours removed from when the Cleveland Browns fell to the Las Vegas Raiders 20-16, marking a two-game stretch that's probably one of the worst that we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years in Cleveland in terms of wins and losses. Anthony Meglin here with you for another quick game show on the Cleveland Browns on SI YouTube channel here. And tonight, we're talking schedule because it's not going to get any easier for the Cleveland Browns, who sit today at 1-3 and staring down the barrel of a gun. I wrote back way back when the schedules were announced that Cleveland needed to get through its first quarter of the season, the first 4 games of the season, with at least a 3-1 record. Well, that thing's flipped over on its head. The Browns are 1-3 heading into a stretch here where we're going to read through the next handful of games. We got an away game against the Washington Commanders. Then you stay on the road. You head to the Link where you take on the Philadelphia Eagles. You'll be underdogs in both of those games. Then you come home for a game against the Bengals, who are starting to play a little bit better while their record matches ours. They have 2 really tough losses that they'd like to have back, but you're probably not a favorite in that game. Then you're definitely not a favorite at home against the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think you're a favorite against the Los Angeles Chargers the following week at home. And then you head on the road to face New Orleans, which we're not sure what that team is, but I'm not I don't forget that they just beat the Dallas Cowboys by a ton a few weeks back. Then you come back home for a game against the Steelers. You play the Broncos. You play the Steelers again. You go Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, Ravens to end it out. I honestly do not think that you'll be favorited another time unless something drastically changes the rest of the year. So for Browns fans, where do we go from here? Vegas adjusted the overall win total for the Cleveland Browns, and they set it at 5.5 wins. So even Vegas isn't thinking that the Browns are even going to get to 6 victories on the season, and that would certainly be one hell of a disappointment. But if the Browns can turn things around, and we saw glimpses of it on Sunday, yes, albeit it was against one of the worst teams in the NFL, and I laugh saying it, but you did see some things that should get you excited. You saw your quarterback play pretty well. You're hoping to get Jedrick Wills, and I know it wasn't that much of an upgrade, but you're hoping to get Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin back. You're going to get David Njoku back, and Batman's waiting in the wings. Wouldn't that be one heck of a story if Nick Chubb comes back and helps lead this team back to the playoffs? But the tools are there. The ingredients are certainly there. They just got to put it on the field together for 4 quarters. They can't go on an opening drive, 10-play beauty drive right down the field for a touchdown and then not score again for a bunch of quarters. And that's what's really been the case with this Browns team, is this lack of consistency, which they do have to solve. But they're going to have to do it facing down a murderer's row of opponents, not just for a couple weeks, but truthfully until January 5th throughout the rest of the season. So we appreciate you jumping in with us here on another quick game episode on Cleveland Browns on SI. For all your news, highlights, and analysis, subscribe to our channel. Like and subscribe it. We appreciate the support and love bringing you content just like this as much as we can. For all of our written content, head over to our website, si.com/NFL/Browns for all things Cleveland Browns. But for this week, we're going to get you set all week long for the Browns and Commanders on Sunday afternoon. But appreciate you jumping in with us here on Cleveland Browns on SI.